all, and welcome back to Roll in the Family presents The Slumbering Forest. This is D&D Beyond's game where we get a bunch of families, parents, and their kids together all in a big group, and also me, some guy, to come play in a big adventure together, all about journeys into the fairy tale landscape of the Slumbering Forest, a fairy tale environment where we see all sorts of things slightly sideways to what we see in a normal fairy tale. This is our wonderful one-shot holiday adventure, and we're bringing back all of the heroes of the Slumbering Forest. I couldn't be more excited. We're going to go ahead and introduce everybody, and I'm going to let parents go ahead and introduce their wonderful, talented offspring. Mr. B. Dave Walters, please kick us off.
Hello, B. Dave Walters. I say words about things. I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt because it's still warm in Southern California, and I like to taunt people in cold climates. So this is Southern California festive, and I play Hatch, the Turtle Life Cleric. And to my, let's see, how can I do this? To my this way, that is Kaylin. You want to introduce yourself, Kaylin?
I'm Kaylin Walters, and I play Trinity, the wonderful angel.
Perfect. I love the fact that we just went through 30 minutes of sound checks, and the very first thing Kaylin says, it gets all wonky. And then I believe to this direction is Lexi.
Hi, I'm Lexi, and I play Demora, a Tiefling Paladin.
And we're just happy to be here, man.
Incredible. Also introducing Ms. Kelly Knox.
I'm Kelly. I'm playing Ren, a Circle of Stars half-elf druid. And I'm not sure which direction she is, but here's Maddie, my daughter.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I play Michael the Frog, who's obviously a frog and a wizard.
Very obviously.
Very obviously. Certainly obviously a frog, maybe less obviously a wizard, although the hat is kind of a dead giveaway.
As you do. As you do.
And finally, Mr. Adam Bradford.
Hey, I'm Adam with D&D Beyond and Fandom Tabletop, and I am playing Barnaby, the Herald of Dusk, Warlock, and this is my son. I'm just going to cover both sections here. This is my son, Luke.
Yeah, better to be safe like that. I'm Luke, like you just said, and I'm playing Talisman, the Sword Sage Monk.
Incredible. Gang, we got all of our heroes back together for a one-shot, and we're here today raising money for Direct Relief, an awesome organization that is raising funds for COVID relief, and especially heading into the holiday season where people in what is one of the hardest years in modern history, and certainly the hardest that a lot of us can remember, can use all the help they can get. And Direct Relief is an amazing organization that's doing the exact kind of work that people need to get relief from COVID, and especially at this hard time of year as we head into a deep winter. So please dig deep into those pockets if you can, for a great cause and a great organization. And we know that if you're watching this, you're interested in great acts of heroism. So why not engage in some yourself? So we look forward to raising funds for this awesome, awesome charity. Without further ado, I invite all of you to journey to realms once slumbering, but slumbering no more. For indeed, having rescued and saved the Queen of Dusk at the end of their adventures, spoiler alert for, I guess, season 1 of The Slumbering Forest. Spoiler alerts for the end of The Slumbering Forest, our first adventure. The Queen of Dusk reunited with her 3 sisters, the fairy queens of Midnight, Midday, and Dawn. And the fiendish gnomish warlock Viserys, having been defeated, Prince Lionel discovered and returned in time for his 18th birthday. A big fairy tale adventure with glorious success. And our 7 heroes elected to, rather than rest on their laurels, continue adventuring in the lands of fairy, now brought to new life and reawakened with all 4 queens once again reigning. However, outside of the queendoms of the 4 fairy queens, there is much of fairy that is even undiscovered or has been lost to time in the changing mists of the fairy landscapes. So Ren, our Circle of Stars druid, with her incredible star map, has been tasked to go and chart these far off lands. And we've had 6 months of incredible hijinks and adventures. With Ren, who is now sort of, I guess, the royal cartographer of the fairy realms. Hatch, the life cleric and turtle mystic, a welcome friend to all living beings in these realms. With also Barnaby, who is now the new herald of the Dusk Queen, having lost his patron at the beginning of our adventures and regained one at the very end. And of course, the 4 heroic champions of the Fairy Queens, Talisman, champion of dawn, Trinity, champion of midnight, Demora, champion of dusk, and Michael the Frog, champion of midday. You are all traveling through a winding pathway in a forest where the branches are filled not with leaves, but instead massive ridges and clumps of pure white snow. Ice and frost cling to the solid, packed, frozen dirt of the path as deep roots stay shuddered and frosted deep into the ground. And indeed, a nice chill wind kicks up. Not the wind that would cut into your bones, but instead the kind of wind that makes you shiver perhaps a little bit and kick your scarf up in a kind of dramatic, cinematic way behind you. Deep snow all over the trees, thick banks of snow everywhere. The kind of snow where you'll see an entire clump fall off a tree and not make a noise because it's hitting so much other deep snow as it lands and just whoom, disappears into the endless frosty white landscape of the forest. Journeying down the pathway, I would love everyone here to go ahead and take a turn describing what your character looks like and what the expression on their face is telling us about how they feel. We'll go ahead and start with Hatch.
I don't like the cold. I'd rather be relaxing inside my shell now. And if my skin wasn't already kind of bluish, it would be by now. And I'm starting to think that Ren might have got us a little lost.
Oh, our poor reptilian friend. Indeed, there is no blue sky to be seen. It's quite bright because the clouds are thin, but it is still that sort of just off gray sky under a bright sun somewhere up ahead, but no direct sunlight for our poor turtle friend.
I'm a beach turtle.
Kaylin, could you go ahead and describe what Trinity looks like for us and tell us how she's feeling and what the expression on her face is?
Trinity doesn't look happy in the snow. She's just making her way through it, barely. Her feet are getting like stuck in the snow, and she has to stand there for a few minutes, yanking her boot out of it.
Trinity is not a fan of trudging through the deep snow. Your boot comes out, and we see Trinity, getting the boot on, and also with this long and immaculate black cloak of shadows, the cloak of midnight trailing behind her. However, the cloak of midnight, very, very good at keeping you stealthy in a normal forest, but against this all just snow in all directions, I'm afraid Trinity's cloak is making her stand out as this one shadowy figure against the rolling hillsides and trees. Demora, go ahead if you could, and Lexi, if you want to describe Demora's, how she looks, what your character looks like, and also what expression she's wearing on her face.
Well, kind of like Hatch, Demora does not like the cold at all. Since she's from the underworld, she's used to fire, so she does not like the cold at all, and her outfit is also not made for the cold, so she just looks mad, just straight mad. She does not like it.
I think as Demora, you feel yourself getting angrier and angrier at being in this cold weather climate. And I think a flurry of snow kicks up. You guys have been traveling for a little while, but you thought you were going to get away with no more active snow. Like there's snow all in the trees and the landscape, but the clouds sort of thicken up a little bit and another gust of snow comes down. Demora, the snow hits your tiefling skin and the fire inside of your soul wells up. And as it hits, all you guys can hear little like of steam as the snowflakes hit Demora. Incredible. Kelly, could you go ahead and describe what your character Ren looks like and tell us the expression that's on her face right now?
Sure. Ren's a half elf. She has dark short hair and she's looking into her books as she's walking. She's wearing dark leathers. She's wrapped up, in a scarf. But every time the wind blows, it blows her pages. So she has to flip back to where she was. Her hands are shaking while she looks. I know we're going the right way. I think. I know.
Oh my goodness. I think Hatch walking beside Ren is sort of two of the mystics in the group. You look and see a bunch of the maps that the wind fluttered over to all say like the Glades of Summer or like the Ignan hot springs and things like that.
Are you sure you don't have it upside down?
Maddie, if you'd be so kind to go ahead and describe Michael the Frog for us and let us know the expression Michael is wearing on his face.
So this time, instead of Michael's awesome wizard hat, he's wearing his awesome Santa hat. He's quite a festive guy. And because they're walking in such snow and, frogs, they're sticky, right? So Michael's feet kind of have like clumps of snow all over them at this point, and his skin's starting to freeze. He kind of enjoys the snow, but minus the fact that his skin freezes. So he's just kind of there. Not a lot. He's just there.
Festive and along for the ride. We love it. Adam, go ahead if you'd be so kind and describe Barnaby to us and the expression he's wearing on his face.
So I guess we'll definitely start with the expression that he's wearing on his face, which is just complete disgust for what's going on. And we'll talk about his face because he's not wearing anything on his bottom half. So as a fawn, his legs and hindquarters and everything else are completely exposed to the elements because he doesn't have a good tailor. And so he is very, very cold right now. His teeth are chattering and everything else. And his head, he has a ridiculous hat. He's completely wrapped up on the top part of his body, but it's not helping very much because his lower half is not clothed. And he's just kind of walking along and he's, hey, Talisman, where do the snowmen keep their money?
Where would that be, Barnaby?
In the snowbanks. Come on. Like, think about it just a little while. In the snowbanks. Get it?
I do get it. That's very funny.
Very good.
Incredible. And Luke, go ahead, if you would be so kind, and describe Talisman for us, what he looks like, and the expression he's wearing on his face.
So Talisman, he's usually dresses pretty modestly and all that, just kind of covered head to toe and all that. But this time, it's the holiday season. He's wearing his festive sweater, and there's just tinsel falling everywhere. And unlike literally everyone else, he is loving this. It reminds me of the same time, everything like that. He is adoring this. He is floating on top of the snow, almost frolicking. Like, yeah, he's in love with it, all of it.
I think this is incredible. Talisman is a very, from our first adventure together, Talisman is a very classically stoic character most of the time. So seeing ultimate holiday frivolity and joy Talisman is maybe the first time any of you here have seen this side of Talisman come out, but the sudden wintry gales have brought a holiday spirit out in your normally laconic friend, who appears to be, I think, taking the lead as you guys head on down the trail together.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over that sweater, Talisman. It's a little loud.
Incredible. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say anyone who wants to help Ren with with navigating these star charts can go ahead and give me either an Arcana or a Nature check. And for anyone else that's mostly keeping their eyes on the road, you can give me a perception check. And let me know if anyone here beats a 15.
I got 14 for Arcana.
14 for Arcana.
I got a 1.
A 1? Oh no. Well,
16 for perception.
16 for perception from Demora.
My passive perception's 22, though. So
Oh, incredible.
Got my turtle radar, but on the die, it's a big old 9.
Ooh, brutal.
I rolled a 1.
Oh my goodness. So as you guys are all sort of trudging through the snow together to get where you're going, you guys see that the trees on the left-hand side of the path, beautiful silver birch and beech trees and oaks and ash and different sort of elms, hawthorn, beautiful deciduous trees, begin to sort of thin out. And you begin to see that the reason that the trees are thinning on the left-hand side is you're approaching the edge of a massive frozen lake, a beautiful lake with a steel, almost like lavender gray surface to the solid ice on top with little flecks of snow crusted into the top of the icy lake. And up ahead, you see that kind of the dark sort of, almost brown and gray and black skeletons of trees holding snow give way to actual greenery as you approach the beginnings of like a conifer forest. You see actual like pine trees ascending up a small little mountainside to your right, and it goes into a little series of like a stone ridge. Looking at this area as you approach, the path weaves around just a small little hillock, something just big enough to sort of block your view. And as you walk up and out of this small little gully, you behold what looks like a small town. You see that there are 3 very large buildings in the center, and then smaller, probably like 2 dozen or there around little homes spreading out from here, a little bustling hamlet. The buildings look like gingerbread, and they are piped and frosted with like cream, and there's big sort of buttons on them. But you see that in addition to looking sort of like gingerbread houses, they also appear to have like cogs of gingerbread turning them. You see like little gears turning on the outside, little puffs of smoke coming out of a chimney. And you see that a hastily constructed bandstand, sort of like a little, almost like a bleachers, has been built. You can smell the smell of like sawdust and like fresh construction. And there is a hastily made sign that even in the freezing cold is clearly still wet with paint above the bandstand. Standing on the bandstand underneath that sign that I'll tell you what it says in a second are in bright red and silver marching band uniforms are a group of tinker gnomes. There is a whole little group of gnomes here. Again, like tall little caps, marching bands, cymbals, tubas, snare drums, and as you round the corner, they begin playing, and the very wet sign above them, again, bright red and green, says, "Welcome, heroes."
Barnaby is going to just edge up beside Demora. Hey, Demora, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Have you ever been to a town that's made out of food?
No, but I am definitely curious on what it tastes like.
I mean, we just need to be real careful, like, right? We need to make sure that we're biting from the top instead of the bottom where it don't come like crashing down. I mean, it's got to be sustainable, right?
Demora, with that 16 perception, you notice that the band leader, who is like leading the band at the front of the bandstand, turns around, sees all of you approaching, and kicks them up even higher. And you see sort of whisperingly says something to one of the gnomes in the front row, as though they were expecting your arrival. Although it's very strange that anyone should be expecting your arrival, given that you were not trying to get here and are in fact lost.
Ren, on the map, do you have obvious trap marked around here?
No, and I don't have gingerbread written down anywhere either.
Life is full of happy accidents.
So The band strikes out, finishes their final boom, and the conductor turns around and says, heroes of the Slumbering Forest, welcome one and all to the village of Holly Hill. We are so grateful that you have made it here. Long has your arrival been presaged, and boy howdy, are we glad to have you.
Michael, I promise everybody's going to like you, okay?
What do all of you do as you see the band? I think you guys are sort of standing here looking at these gnomes, but they appear to be waiting for some sort of acknowledgement of this welcoming committee, and you do see a small little bustling town. That the doors do begin to open, so that gnomes come spilling out. It does seem to be like a very lovely little gnomish village. Only a fraction of the doors in here are even possible for like the larger human-sized ones of you to even walk through without having to bend all the way over. And they look very, very excited. People sort of begin to pour out and gawk and point at you.
Well, what do you guys think? You want to go?
We're just too cool. I mean, that's kind of the problem here.
I'm too cold.
Maybe I'm freezing.
Yeah, maybe they'll have some hot chocolate.
I'm hungry.
Trinity looks at the gingerbread houses, then looks down at her boots, which are soaking wet, and she says, let's go in.
Okay, but hey, try and stay together.
So as you approach, you see that the band leader says, and do I understand that you would like to avail yourself of the hospitality of the gnomes of Holly Hill?
Man, I thought they only had this kind of drama in Hollywood.
Ha ha! A reference I don't catch. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Bauble, Mayor Bauble. I am the mayor and the band leader and the chief foreman of the factory here. You could say I wear a lot of hats. And you see he takes out his little conductor's baton, hits his marching band hat, and it turns into a giant top hat that says mayor. Please, welcome one and all. I see that your boots are soaked through, and you have some members of your party that are reptilian and amphibian. Be that as it may, all may avail themselves of our hospitality. And boy, did you get here just in time.
You already know what I'm going to do, Zone of Truth. Charisma 15.
Charisma 15.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Hatch has trust issues.
We've been traveling together a long time, Barnaby, and a lot of people are tricky.
Cool. Is there anything, as Hatch casts this spell, are there any visual or auditory elements of the spell that are clear to the gnomes as Hatch is casting this?
I feel like, yes. I feel like Hatch being a turtle of the cloth is, there's almost like, even as the snow is coming down, it is almost snow globe-ish around him as it just sort of like sparkles in this like 15-foot diameter holy radius where you cannot bring yourself to be untruthful. Again, if they make the save, I know they've made the save. If they fail the save, they cannot consciously lie. It doesn't compel them to tell the truth. They simply cannot knowingly say something that is not true.
See that Mayor Bauble looks up and says, well, if it's hot chocolate you'd like, you can avail yourselves to all of the cocoa in the village. We'd be more than happy to share it with you. And additionally, I think I overheard some of you whispering about wanting to eat some of our houses. Oh, you're in luck. We have very small mock homes just for that reason. No one actually lives in them. Believe me, when you've had as many travelers eat as many of our houses as they have, you learn to build some extras.
Does Ren see this town on any of her maps that she's been going through this whole time?
You really don't, but you haven't tried looking for Holly Hill.
Okay.
So there you could give that a shot if you wanted to.
Yes.
And Hatch, you do not sense him succeeding on the save.
Okay, so how did you know about the heroes of the Slumbering Forest?
Well, everyone knows about the heroes of the Slumbering Forest. The Queen of Dusk returned to her castle, Dinamore. I mean, who could believe it? Tales of your exploits have gone far and wide. The foot race against the Tabaxi Jothra, the defeat of the Queen of Dawn's champion, Orodont, by the Sword Sage Talisman, the fine haggling of Michael the Frog, and the eating contest. I mean, you're putting away a lot. Don't get any funny ideas with the workshop. Am I right? Ooh.
And don't forget that Barnaby fought a god in a fist fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, like some of the rest of us did some stuff too.
And when you're the herald, right?
Yes, that would be me.
Ah, yes. Well, look, we're really excited to have you. And ultimately, and by the way, Maddie, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
Does history check count on this? Could I do?
Yeah. You
Oh,
do
can I try that?
What do you want to try to figure out?
Just kind of how long the town's been there or something.
Give me a history check. And I would say, Ren, if you want to give me I think like you could do either a survival or an arcana here, depending on what you're trying to figure out.
Okay, let me see. That's a 9.
Holly Hill doesn't have a big history. This is a small. You would know on a 9 that these are clearly toy maker gnomes. For Ren, what did Ren roll?
11 on Arcana to try and find it in my maps.
With 11 Arcana, you do find Holly Hill in a very old map of this area of the Winterlands of Fairy. But the only thing, you don't find any sort of actionable information on 11. You do see that there's something very interesting in Holly Hill, which is that as it's written, it does have 2 little sprigs of holly on either side, but the little symbol for the town marker, and all the towns have different ones here, the little symbol for the town marker is actually a tiny little fire. So there's like the little dot that represents where the town actually is on the map is like a little circle with like a little sort of flame symbol in the middle of it.
I'm gonna nudge Talisman and kind of show him just quietly on the book.
Incredible. Hatch. He gives you a truthful answer to your question, which was, how have you heard of, where did you hear about the heroes of the Slumbering Forest? So he says, but, idle chatter's not going to put cocoa in thirsty stomachs.
Wait 1 second. I think you need help. Why? What do you want from us?
What do we want? Well,
and I very much like crane all the way down, like full extended turtleneck, like right in his face.
You see, he says, well, of course it would be frightfully rude to, make a large, dangerous request of a group of heroes that you've never met and that have no reason to help you. So that's why we invited you here, or we didn't invite you here. We didn't know you were going to come here, but we just, he can't say that last part. He goes, we didn't, but the sign, obviously, but, what was your question again? He asked again.
Talisman, he's being tricky.
What? Who, me? No, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to.
I've seen this many times. It never works.
Why can't? Something's wrong with my mouth. It's like I've got peanut butter in there. What? I am not.
It's 'cause you can't tell a lie, friend. You've got to tell the truth.
Oh,
If
I
Barnaby learned eventually, you'll get the hang of it.
It's magic. It kind of goes like this. See, like I might try to say something very, very flattering about myself, but then I'll end up saying something like, I hide a heart of pure gold underneath an unnecessarily gruff exterior.
wow, that sort of vulnerability can take years of therapy. That's incredible.
I'm
Congratulations.
very self-aware.
Now the healing can begin.
Very well. Well, it seems like we are all under the effects of some sort of spell that's making us all tell the truth. So I think what's important to know is I don't want anything bad to happen. And that's the truth. Let's head inside. You see the Mayor Bauble takes off, and the band begins to sort of play your guys' way with a bunch of fanfare as people wave at you heading into the town.
Is he, would you sort of let the mayor get a little bit ahead? I'm just like, keep your eyes open, you guys. They're gonna ask us to do something dangerous.
Well, at least this will be interesting.
And hopefully there's still gonna be cocoa.
All of you walk into the central workshop of the Gnomes of Hollyhill. This workshop has a big, huge, like butcher block wooden slab work tables filled with rocking horses and jack-in-the-boxes and all sorts of games, dominoes and jacks and dice. You see dolls and stuffed animals and toy knights and little rolling horses and animals on wheels, and you see all sorts of manner of wonderful, wonderful toys. There's also little candies being wrapped and little pieces of tinsel, glittering treasures all over the workshop. You walk in and immediately see a roaring fireplace in this central forge. There's a huge giant like furnace in the middle of the workshop, and you see it has pipes running up into the rafters of this sort of big warehouse like workshop. All the sort of rafters wrapped with like holly and pine and wreaths. You see that all the pipes sort of come out and go off even like out of the building to different buildings. It looks like this one furnace maybe heats the whole town. As you walk in, anyone who wants to go ahead and give me a perception check or an insight check. Let me know if you beat a 15.
That's a 1.
I got 19 on perception.
19 on perception. Awesome.
24 on perception.
Woo,
15
incredible.
on insight.
Talisman.
21 on insight. Yeah.
Cool.
10 on insight.
Amazing. So for our perception checks, here, all of you are looking around. So Ren, Michael, and Demora all look. Oh, sorry, Kaylin.
I ordered 22.
Ooh, awesome. Okay, so Trinity, Ren, Demora, and Michael, with those perception checks, you look around, see this roaring fire in the furnace, and you see that there are a number of gnomes sort of scattered around in here who are putting very close attention on you and are wearing Hawaiian shirts with little like flower lays and like sunglasses on. One of them has like a little bit of like almost like sunscreen on the nose. And you see all of them are shivering and just, well, hello, well, welcome to the workshop. Ooh, careful not to get too close to the fire. Ooh, toasty warm. And insight check, Talisman and Barnaby, you both rolled insight checks, right?
Yes.
Incredible. You look over at Bauble and see he notices that they're all kind of shaking. and looks sort of panicked. And you see he goes like, well, I don't know why it's vacation time in here. I mean, yes, it makes sense. It's so boiling hot in here. You'd want to wear something to deal with the heat, but you're all done. You can all go. And you see all of the shivering gnomes sort of huddle and run off into the back together. And Mayor Bauble. Yes, Kaylin.
Trinity looks at Mayor Bauble and turns to Demora and tells her, I don't trust this dude. I don't trust any of them.
Does Trinity say that right in front of the mayor?
Yeah.
It checks out.
You see, Mayor Bauble turns and goes, oh, well, I'm so dreadfully sorry. Madam Champion of the Midnight Queen, if I've done anything to not earn your trust, please let me do whatever I can to gain it back.
What's with the shivering gnomes in front of the giant fire with no clothes on?
Is he still in a zone of truth, or does that stay outside if he moves into a new area?
Let me double check that it is not centered on me. I think it's the area and not myself. Let me just,
Cool.
sorry, real quick. Nope. It's centered on a point. So it wasn't me. It was the place.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you see, he looks at you, Barnaby, and says, well, something incredible about gnomish physiology is that the warmer gnomes get, the more they shiver.
I'm going to absolutely scrutinize his face and look for the subtle little micro tells that happen when someone might be telling a lie.
Can I history check that? Does that count?
Yeah, actually, you can totally go ahead. That's actually gonna be a nature check. So go ahead and give me a nature check, Michael.
It's a 16 on insight.
And 15 on nature.
So here's the deal, Barnaby. You're pretty sure this guy's not on the up and up, but he says something about gnomish physiology, and you just can't be sure that that's true or not. Michael, that is for a fact not true. 100% not the case.
Michael kind of whispers like loudly, that's not true, guys. Just trying to make sure that he can't hear him, but he obviously can.
You see that the mayor sort of puffs himself up and says, well, I never, being told about gnomish physiology in my own workshop. It so happens that gnomes shiver when they get warm. And it's also true about gnomes that when enough gnomes live in a place, then hot things might still have snow on them that's not melting. And you shouldn't interrogate why that's happening or look too much into it. And furthermore, Michael, go ahead and give me another Arcana check real quick.
Got 9 again?
9. Trinity.
So, Trinity's gonna look at the mail and then look at the file again. And she's looking at the file and she knows for a fact that gnomes probably don't shiver or on fire because she's seen a lot of gnomes in her life.
And so at this point, though, seriously, Barnaby is just going to be like, hey, listen, we know you're not on the up and up. And I want to, and he starts to press to digitate over in Demora's direction. He said, you know where you were recounting the tale of Demora and her legendary feats of gastronomy, right? I think that's a word. So listen, you know that saying about glass houses? You're kind of like in edible houses right now. And so if you don't start being on the up and up with us, we're going to unleash the beast that is Demora on this entire town. And it will be a complete massacre.
And when he says that, I use thaumaturgy to dim all the flames, including the furnace, and I'm like, oh no, she's starting to lose her temper because everything gets all dark.
Wait, can I cast minor illusion to make it kind of look like she's glowing red or something?
So a whole industrial light and magic. There's just an incredible series of concocted special effects to make this as terrifying as possible. Barnaby, go ahead and roll Intimidate with advantage.
Ooh, with advantage. Well, that is going to be 20 on the die for 25.
Ooh, a nat 20. Oh my God. Before we move on real quick, Demore, did you have your hand raised? Did you want to say something?
When they made all those things make her look scary, like she had a normal face. She just like made her face turn into a death glare and stared right at him.
Incredible. So Barnaby, you deliver an incredibly convincing threat. You know, as a consummate loquacious interlocutor, someone with the gift of gab. It's always nice if you can make a threat when there's a lot of reality to back it up, and you know that these people, your friends of yours, want to eat these dang houses. So you see that Mayor Bauble looks and says, "All right, I'm sorry. I'll come clean. Please don't have your friends eat our town. We can't take any more hardship."
Listen, we're pretty good people, most of us anyway, and we want to help if you need help, but quit it with all the telling fibs, all right?
All right, that's it. No more lies. I'll never lie again. All right, that would have been a lie. Okay, I won't lie to you for the period of time that you're here, and I can promise that because I'm very scared of you. So let me tell you what's going on. And while this is happening, I would actually love, well, as you approach, I'm going to ask for some rolls here. Let me get, once again, perception or arcana from anyone that wants to. And actually, Trinity and Hatch, I would love advantage on those from you two. And I'll explain why you're getting advantage in a second.
I got 15 on Arcana.
15 arcana, awesome.
For advantage,
You roll
what
twice.
do I add?
You roll it twice, and you take the higher of the two.
Okay.
And that's 22 for me.
Awesome.
Wait, so what am I rolling?
You're going to roll 2 d20s, and whichever one is the higher number, that's the one you're going to count.
Incredible. Yes, Talisman.
21 on perception.
Incredible. This
I got 21 too.
21 too. Awesome. So as you're approaching, you see the mayor speaking to you, Barnaby, and says, "Look, probably about just a few days ago, something went wrong in the village. Every single home and house and workshop in Holly Hill is heated by the Heart of Hearths. It's an incredible magical artifact that sits at the center of our furnace, and it keeps the town merry and bright. It heats up all the cocoa. We haven't had hot cocoa in days. We only have cold cocoa. Is that even cocoa anymore? Is it just chocolate milk?"
You poor thing.
This is the biggest challenge that's come up in my mayoralty, my mayorship, in all time. This is worse than the time that all those ball bearings fell out of the ball bearing sack on the workshop floor during the pie festival. Listen, I don't know what we're gonna do, but the fire's still there, but it won't warm anything up at all. And you do approach this roaring furnace and this giant, beautiful, elaborate, furnace in the center of the workshop. 15 Arcana. Michael, you see something unrelated, but you see in a corner of the workshop a small closed desk. But it's one of those writing desks that sort of closes with a little folding piece of wood. And it looks like the corner of a map is maybe sticking out of it. For everybody else, Trinity, Talisman, and Hatch, you all notice the same thing at roughly the same time. As you're approaching, Hatch, what you notice on your perception is that when you dimmed the fires down everywhere, the fire in the center of the furnace didn't dim at all. Now, it's a much larger fire than any of the candles or stuff, but it should have done something. And it didn't react at all. which is unusual given the spell. For that other perception check for Talisman and Trinity, because you were already looking at the fire specifically, Talisman and Trinity, as you're approaching, you look into the flames, see this roaring fire, and unlike seeing a big stack of wood or a whole floor of glowing coals, you actually just see one beautiful, radiant with blue fire heart in the middle of the furnace. And it looks like a carved heart, almost like it must be made out of some kind of ever-burning gemstone or some liquid fire, but it's the shape of, it's that classic sort of heart shape right in the center of the furnace, and it seems to be supplying all of the fire here. Talisman and Trinity, you are watching the fire flicker, and for a moment see the fire flicker in a way that doesn't look right to you. And I think at any other point in time, you would have missed it, because it's like, fires are pretty chaotic when they're flickering. They're sort of moving around a lot, but just something looks wrong. And you would have missed it if you didn't notice each other noticing it. It was almost like the fire skipped a beat and shifted in a weird way. And as you watch it for about another 10 seconds while Barnaby and Mayor Bauble are talking, it flicks again in the exact same way. And you realize that where it flicks to, for lack of a better word, it was almost like the fire was in the exact same position and flicked to the exact same position that it flicked to last time. Mayor Bauble turns to you, Barnaby, and says, "So that's what's going on. There's a fire that won't keep anything hot. If it can't heat anything up, it can't produce steam. Without steam, the machines won't work. We can't heat the cocoa up. We can't, all of our gizmos and gadgets and doodads and all sorts of various things we use to bring holiday cheer to the Slumbering Forest, it will be ruined."
Yeah, that's a really bad situation.
Trinity, what does Trinity want to do?
So Trinity looks at the way the fire was flickering, and she tries to pick up a pattern, but doesn't really have any success. Till she looks around to the area, keeps an area, seeing if there's anything bugging with the fire.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. And you rolled a 21, so do this with advantage. Yeah, B Dave.
Oh, you got it, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I rolled a 17.
17 investigation.
Oh.
Awesome. You look around. Well, immediately what Trinity notices is not only is the fire not hot, but nothing around it is hot either. You can touch the side of the furnace. You can touch the side of the furnace. You can touch other stuff like that. You see something in the center, but you would have to go into the furnace to investigate more. Does Trinity want to walk into the furnace?
No. First, she thinks to herself if she should, or how to take out the fire before she goes into the furnace. She doesn't want to burn.
That's true. But what's interesting also, though, Trinity, as Trinity is thinking, well, I don't want to go in there because I don't want to burn, you realize there's no heat coming off the fire. You're standing in front of the furnace and there's no heat at all. So a question suddenly, I think, pops into your head of, if the fire is not hot, will it burn? And I don't know if anyone knows that for sure. Yeah, go for it.
And that is, Hatch is like, well, I could detect magic, but I'm going to thaumaturgy whatever flames will respond to me again down.
Cool.
And just reach in. Is this I'm big? Is this so big that I can fit in? Can I reach?
It's enormous. You could open, there's a sort of slatted
Right.
copper door that you could open and walk into the
Right.
furnace.
I open it up and I'm kind of like, I stop right before I go in. I'm like, hey, Talisman, if this is a huge mistake, make sure my mom gets my mace back in our hometown, okay?
Will do, Knox, will do. I'm with you.
And then Thaumaturgy with whatever reacts, and then I'm like, okay, don't follow me in here. And I do try and go inside the furnace.
Incredible.
You know what they say, you build a man a fire, he's warm for a day. You set a turtle on fire, he's warm for the rest of his life.
Incredible, gang. Well, you walk into the furnace, Hatch, and nothing happens. You walk in, flames lick around you. It's a very disturbing sight to see someone just sort of walk into a giant open fire. You don't feel any heat from the flames. And you don't feel... Oh, go for it.
So I just say, the moment I realize I'm okay, I just go like, no, I'm okay. It didn't hurt at all, actually. It doesn't hurt at all.
Barnaby is laughing uncontrollably. He thinks that was the funniest thing that has ever happened.
Incredible. Hatch, you walk over. You see Mayor Bobble looks up. Yeah, Mayor Bobble's reaction is much more like Ren's, but he goes, "No, we've killed the heroes of the Slumbering Forest."
It was just one of us.
He goes, "Oh, but he's one's bad enough. Word would get around." And you see that you walk further into the furnace, where you see the heart at the center of the furnace. Walking through this flame, I think, Hatch, you're having a reaction sort of like, what does fire feel like other than heat? Like, anytime you've ever touched fire, heat has been such the dominant thing that the fact that there is no sensory element to this fire is sort of like, well, maybe that's what fire would be like if it wasn't hot. You get to the gem, this sort of like boiling, beautiful liquid gem of a heart in the center of the furnace. Go towards it, not hot at all, and your claw, first of all, does Hatch go to touch the gem?
He definitely like gets a little more serious right before he does, and he's like, yeah, do try.
Claw goes through.
Yeah.
Claw goes through. It goes right through the gem. Hatch, this is 100% an illusion.
Presumably they can hear me, right?
Yes, absolutely. Although actually the fire is kind of roaring still,
right.
But yes, you can absolutely yell out to them.
I'm like, Michael, can you detect magic? I think it's an illusion.
Sure. What do I roll?
You don't need to roll it. You can actually just cast detect magic, and it'll take.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So you whip up detect magic. Michael, your froggy eyes bulge out of your frog's head as you portend the nature of the secret auras of the magical world. And you see what you would normally expect to see from a magical furnace like this would be powerful evocation, huge invoking of magical fire. This is instead some very clever illusion. And you do see that an illusion pops up. As you stare it a little bit longer, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
That's a 1 + 5, so 6.
On a natural 1, Michael, you look at this spell, this illusion spell. You're pretty sure, as you were trying to glean like who could have cast this, and on a natural 1, the illusion spits back a response, and it changes itself so that your arcane mark was associated with it, and it looks like you cast it. Oh,
well.
So yeah, you do, and it just sort of So if anyone else were to detect this, it would look like it was
Barnaby
your spell
cast
work.
detect magic. And,
You don't know how Michael did it, but somehow Michael got to this village ahead of all of you, cast some wild illusion. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me, Barnaby.
We're just gonna keep rotating out. No, that's a 9.
Incredible. Well, you still do see that this is Michael's arcane mark on the illusion here.
Hey, Michael, what's the big idea, kid?
Okay, so it was an accident, also known as I forgot how to cast a spell for a second.
So you've been to Holly Hill before?
No.
Wait a minute, you've been to Holly Hill before?
No, this guy can prove it, I swear. Do you recognize me? Rather than me being really cool because I saved everyone, do you recognize me?
Well, no, I don't recognize you.
Exactly. He's the mayor.
I am, but I'm a terrible mayor.
Well, you wear a lot of hats, and I don't know if I've seen what your speciality actually is yet.
Oh, my speciality? Well, you guessed it, it's hats.
Ah.
But, can you cast the lying thing again? Do the lying thing.
It's you very much see like Hatch is just in here playing with the fire now, you know? That he's like, oh, I get the appeal of sorcery now. Like not listening at all.
So, Michael, how did you cast this spell if you ain't never been to this town?
I haven't. All I did was mess up. I swear.
Wait a minute. What kind of spell is it? What sort of magic?
You cast it. It's some kind of illusion magic.
Yeah, just kidding.
Well, then maybe
this mayor guy's my best friend, guys. Whoa, surprise!
Really?
Yeah.
You consider me your best friend?
Yep.
I mean, it ain't a very long list.
You see the mayor starts crying. The mayor goes,
they're very socially fluid. Don't get overly attached.
Well, I'll be honest, Mr. the Frog, you're my best friend too. And it's a pleasure to have you again, to have you for a second time.
Is Michael like about as tall as them, or?
Yes, Michael's about as tall as these guys.
Dang it.
I can't believe it. Well, so what does that mean? It's an illusion. But.
Well, if I could offer a pontification, somebody stole your gem and left a fake here. Who might? I know it's improbable. Who do you think might have done it?
Michael, why did you do this?
Ren, you vouched for Michael in the past. Do you think they snuck ahead, did some magical shenanigans, and robbed these poor gnomes?
Don't think so. I think we would have noticed.
Okay, so
Probably.
the best friend thing may have been a lie. But that I have a good reason for it. And that's listen, I know that you didn't know that was an illusion, and I was very much trying to help by seeing if I could detect if it was magic, because he just walked in the fire without burning alive. So
I mean, I sleep a lot. Like, I don't know, are we always awake when Michael is? Like, what is Michael doing in the late evenings?
I was wondering how he didn't freeze in his water. If he snuck ahead and has been having hot cocoa and furnace dips, that makes a lot of sense.
You see, Mayor Bauble speaks up and says, well, listen, I'll have no aspersions cast against my oldest and greatest friend, Michael the Frog. Michael is a good man. Sorry, scratch that. A good frog. And more to the point, if somebody has stolen the heart of hearts, well, the whole dang town runs on it. And we need to get it back post haste. I mean, we've been sitting here thinking that the heart had suddenly grown cold. And we thought it was a metaphor for like, oh, the heart's cold. Maybe there's a magical person who needs to learn to love again. But no, it's common theft and larceny.
So one of the things he said was right, and that is that I'm a great frog. Please, Okay, give me one good reason why I would kill this very yummy looking town.
To eat
Because
it.
it's yummy, yeah. Although, Trinity, you're really great at tracking people. Can you tell if anybody was in the furnace and then ran away?
She goes up to the furnace and climbs inside, and she sees if she can see any of the flickering. And is it still happening?
Yes, because no one has dispelled the illusion yet. But there is an illusion here that no one has dispelled. Trinity, go ahead and give me a survival check.
I can dispel it
Okay.
if you'd like.
Oh, Michael, you can dispel it, Michael?
Yeah, what do I have to roll for that?
You actually just cast the spell.
Oh.
This is only a 3rd level illusion, so it will automatically be dispelled. Michael, you raise up your webbed froggy hand and strip the magic of the illusion away. Trinity, you see that there were footprints that would have been very hard to find, but now you're going to have advantage on this roll because the illusion covering them up has also been removed by the dispel magic. So go ahead and you can make that survival check roll with advantage.
Hetch clearly is sad and like retracts just slightly into the shell when the fire's gone. Like, okay.
Trinity rolled a well, in total she rolled a 19.
Awesome. Trinity, you immediately see that there are 2 things going on here. There is something here that is a little bit like almost like when you drop water onto like a boiling, burning hot cast iron stove, and for a minute the water kind of splatters and leaves a little bit of residue, like a little bit. So there's some sort of like residue left there. So there's burnt, like instantly vaporized, steamed water droplets around on the floor of the furnace that would have maybe been there when the furnace was originally very hot, even though it hasn't been in a while. And you also see what look like these little straight, sharp marks in the spacing of footprints. And on a 19, you realize that these footprints are not only of a medium-sized creature, so something more the size of an elf or a human, but also someone wearing ice skates.
Okay, guys, so first of all, I got rid of the spell. Why would a bad guy do that? Second of all, there's no frog prince. So, take that.
Oh, you're very much incorrect, my dear old friend. There is a frog prince. He lives 3 towns over. There's a whole lovely story.
Somebody stole your gimmick.
And it wasn't me.
You see, so Trinity, but you can definitely follow these tracks out of here if you want to, Trinity.
Okay, so before telling everyone else, she just like starts following them out of there without giving anyone an idea of what she's following.
Trinity, did you
Oh,
see
yes, her
something?
boots got dry.
Michael's just kind of standing there scared she actually did see Frog Prince by accident, and she's just like, no.
Incredible. So Trinity, you head out into the snow, and immediately these tracks disappear under, days of snow outdoors. Very hard to track in this kind of climate. But you do see where the tracks head to as they move out of the door, which is down towards the lakeside. And you see this large lake that has a perfectly smooth, flat surface. And it makes sense that something like ice skates would probably head to the lake. So even though the tracks fade out pretty quickly, I think Trinity would know the direction to head to try to find these.
Yeah, so she sat there and thought for a little bit, and then she decided to go walking to the lake, and she looked around to see if there was anyone there.
At some point in the hovel there, we're gonna. Hey, where's Trinity?
Maybe we should. I don't. Okay. All right. Hey, wait, Mr. Mayor. Please bring some gingerbread roof tiles for my friends here. Cause again, we don't want Demora getting hangry.
Of course, I'll bring some gingerbread roof tiles right away. I can bring some. What's the? I can bring some nice frosting style like Victorian molding. You know, the for like a baseboard or up that sort of stuff. And we have some housing insulation, but really it's just cotton candy.
All of that.
Yeah, sure. I'll get right on it. Of course.
But order it to go because I think Trinity's onto something. Yeah.
Hey, and really, really important. Do you have any rope?
Rope? Oh, sure. It's but it's made out of that gummy material. Do you need real rope or food rope?
I mean, like somebody asking for rope is probably asking for the real stuff. But I mean, as long as the gummy will actually like hold the weight of somebody like say myself, then we can go with the candy style.
Let's be honest. If we knew there's food rope, that's what we'd be asking for.
I mean, but how does somebody know that exists?
He says, trust me, the food rope can definitely hold your weight. It just might, depending on how fast you're going when you use it, it might change length, you know, to some degree. But,
so wait, if it's that strong, how does anybody chew it?
Oh, bad for your teeth. We have a lot of dentistry problems in town. These are all implants. I'm gonna go take care of your meal order. And you see that Mayor Bauble walks out of the workshop. Trinity, you arrive at the edge of the lake. Go ahead and give me are you attempting to be stealthy on your way here or no?
Yeah, she's trying to be stealthy, so if someone is there, she doesn't want to get caught walking over there.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Remember, Kaylin, you have advantage on stealth, so this is another one of those things where you roll twice and you take the higher one.
And Michael, you have a question.
So while they're walking out to follow Trinity, can Michael, because is everyone gone from the room that we were in? Was there other people in the room rather than the other gnomes by the fire and that guy, the mayor?
There were other gnomes, so there are still some other gnomes in the workshop, yes.
Can Michael sneak back in there using the invisibility spell to get the map?
He absolutely can. Yes. Trinity, yes.
So, I rolled a 25.
Incredible. Trinity, you arrive at the lake and begin to follow the shoreline, which, again, the lake is enormous, but like a lot of large lakes, there are little sort of inlets and coves and bays and things like that. And you walk around this rocky shoreline and move around a large lichen-covered boulder to see a small, beautiful little inlet of the lake outside of where anyone in the town can see. And you hear a song being sung. Breathy tones almost making it into a hum. It is a sorrowful and sad wintertime song. And you see that there is a tall and beautiful fairy woman ice skating in this cove. She her long cape and gown are scintillating white. It patterned like snowflakes and ice, trails out behind her. Long hair trails out behind her as well. And you see that she is holding a sort of dull, frosty, lavender gray something in her hands. You can't quite see, it's a little bit obscured by her hands. But you see her ice skating and singing this very sad song. I am going to need a wisdom saving throw from Trinity. And I believe this is an enchantment effect. I believe elves may have, this is a charm effect. So elves, I believe, do have advantage against this. So give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage. Oops, sorry, I think you're muted.
I rolled a 16.
A 16.
Is that with your +4 to that or no? She's...
Yeah, with the +4.
Incredible. Trinity, you look up, a lifetime adventuring in enchanted forests has prevented you from succumbing to things like this. You are able to resist the incredible song of enchantment. A normal mortal, if a regular human were traveling here, this song would have filled them with sorrow and sympathy for this frosty fairy woman ice skating on the lake. You keep your wits about you and are still unseen by this woman. What does Trinity want to do?
So Trinity looks at the fairy woman for a little bit, and then she looks around to see if there's anyone else nearby.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. I rolled a 20 with my +7.
Woo, a 20. Well, I'll tell you what, there's some people very close by. Also, shout out to our new cast member, this wonderful cat that's just jumped up behind Lexi.
I think that's Anakin.
Anakin!
Yeah,
Ah!
Anakin. And he jumped like super rapidly. If you saw me jolt, it scared me.
Finally got the high ground.
It's over.
Oh,
it's
no.
over. Thank you all for tuning in. We're just there you go. Get it. Right, yeah.
So with that 20, Trinity, you hear your friends rapidly approaching who are almost here with you. But you do also get this strange feeling that you are being watched by other beings who are maybe not here in this moment right now. But you do, like, you can't see them anywhere, but you do feel like you're being watched by more by other entities. But obviously you have not been spotted by the woman skating on the lake. Do you stay in hiding where you are and wait for your friends, or do you want to act?
So Trinity stays hiding for a bit till she sees her friends coming over, and she knows for a fact that they'll make noise and the fairy will notice them. So she runs over to them and pushes them away from the fairy, and then warns them that she's over there, and Trinity doesn't know what she could do.
So if that's how that's going to play out, can I tell you what Barnaby was going to do until Trinity got over there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Barnaby, after getting this candy rope, he is, they're starting to walk toward the lake, and he's tying this off around his waist. And then he gives the other end to Talisman and says, hey kid, like, make sure, like, you seem real sturdy, like, you got the stances and all that with your swords, and so it's like, I want you to hold on to this real tight because I've always wanted to do this. And so as we start to get a little closer to the lake, he is trying to run and just belly flop and like slide across the lake unless Trinity stops us.
That's great. Barnaby, go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, that's going to go well. That's 21.
Hey! So Barnaby, though you are not always the world's most acrobatic satyr, this is effectively sort of like a combination between boogie boarding and curling. So you tie this rope to yourself. Talisman, you're holding the other end of the rope, and Barnaby just scoots rocketing way out into the lake.
Just love the idea of Trinity being like, you guys, no matter what you do, don't let her know that we
Amazing. Barnaby, you scoot way out there from like closer to probably like about like 100 or so feet out into the lake. You do see around the corner and see that figure skating in the cove. For everyone else, do you guys continue on to join up with Trinity?
Yeah, I would just say when she says what she says, I just look at Ren and I'm like, well, you're the child of the forest. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I look at Trinity because we usually traveled together, and I shake my head, but kind of question her, like, did we?
You guys was sort of like, conspiring together, Trinity waiting for you around the corner, Barnaby out in the lake. I want to cut over very briefly to resolve the thing with Michael sneaking back in. Michael, invisible frog once more. You walk back into the workshop and hear, the noise of Mayor Bauble and these other gnomes collecting what to them are construction materials and to you guys are snacks. What would Michael like to do as you go over to the desk?
So Michael's gonna go over to. He's gonna take or was the map in the drawer?
It was, yes.
So he's gonna carefully open the drawer first, just in case there's other things in there. But he is first gonna grab the map. But can I see what else is in there, just in case there's something like?
Yes. First of all, go ahead and give me either stealth or sleight of hand to remain sneaky and hidden. And don't worry, you'll get like +10 to this because you're fully invisible.
I rolled 18.
Ooh, your invisibility spell works like a charm. Because it kind of is. Go ahead, if you'd be so kind now, and give me an Arcana check and a History check.
11 for Arcana and 16 for History.
You grab a bunch of maps. These maps are probably going to be way more useful to Ren than they are to you. But you grab them, no problem. History-wise, you find a ledger book in the town of them keeping track of all their various resources. And you see that there's something in the ledger book of town resources being spent on material components for a ritual. You might need some help to figure out what the ritual is, but it looks like these gnomes cast a big ritual spell a couple days ago.
Okay. Was there anything else rather than a bunch of maps in the desk?
Just maps and this information about this ritual. I will say this: you know that the maps have to do with the ritual that they cast a few days ago.
Okay. Is there anything that was there any drawers or anything? Like just shirts to whole desk, I guess is what I'm saying.
Give me one last investigation check.
Okay. Let's see, where's investigation? Here it is. 10.
You find a really nice letter opener. It's got a good handle, little engraving. It's monogrammed with somebody else's initials,
I'll take it. Fine.
Yoink.
What were the initials?
The initials were MTF.
Okay. I'll go back to the group, but I'll just go back to the group. I won't go running in.
Amazing. So you're not running. You're just going to join up with them in a little bit. Everyone else turns the corner. You guys don't see Trinity because Trinity is so expertly hidden. But Demora, Hatch, Ren, Talisman round the corner. Barnaby, you're still out on the lake. You turn around, and this figure whips around to regard you. She stands tall. Ice, snow swirl around her. Yes, Maddie.
I was just going to ask if I could actually stay invisible just in case.
Yes, absolutely you can. No worries. Ice swirls around her. She looks up at you and says, "Ah, I see. Travelers have come from Holy Hill. You have come and intruded on this wild place. Leave now." Do those travelers here appear to have any intention of leaving?
I feel like Talisman was about to say something, so I just like just look at him.
I'm holding on to the rope and I say, should I pull him back?
Not just yet. Let him have some fun before things get complicated.
You see that Barnaby, you continue to skid. The gummy rope stretches and stretches and stretches as you until finally you hit a little sort of like snowbank. Go ahead.
I look for the money in it.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
No one else knows I'm there, though, right? Not even.
No, you're undetected.
Okay.
It's a 14.
You theoretically will leave footprints, though.
14 investigation. You reach into a snowbank, and you pull out a small silver coin, and then your hand gets smacked by a little white fuzzy paw that snatches the coin out, and you see a small Arctic hare, a little white Arctic rabbit with a little monocle and a tweed coat comes out and says, "Good sir, do you have an account here?"
No, I got accounts like in the not so slumbering anymore forest, but not at this branch.
Well, if you're going to make a withdrawal, I would thank you very kindly to fill out a slip.
What kind of slip? Like
A withdrawal slip.
Undergarments or like, oh, that kind of slip. No,
I suppose this is all very funny to you, but I take the profession of banking rather seriously.
I mean, you look pretty funny, yeah.
Oh, I suppose I do. I would expect that from a normal human. What, because I'm wearing a coat and a monocle and no pants? You're not wearing pants either, friend.
No, I was talking about your mustache. Like all that other stuff's fine.
My whiskers are the pride of my rabbit family.
Oh, whiskers. Oh, all right. I apologize, but I will somehow get in at my own branch of my own bank. Good day to you, sir.
Are you doing my voice? Are you doing me?
I may be doing you, just a little bit.
Well, I've never been so offended in my life. I'm
so sorry that I've offended you.
Bren says, "Talisman, just get him, Talisman."
I think I'm going to pull him back.
You yoink, Barnaby. You hear this rabbit waving a little cane at you, saying, "You are barred from this bank in perpetuity. You shall never do any banking with the greater regional mid-lake snow bank of Holly Hill." Sirrah!
Joke's on you. I ain't a bard. I'm a warlock.
Never. Barnaby, you would rejoin your friends. Just as the Fey woman at the center of the little inlet begins to sing, and now I'm going to need wisdom. B-Day.
I really was going to do this. I just put my hand on Demora's shoulder in protection from good and evil against Fey. That I'm just kind of, as I watch him get rolled in, I'm like, oh, here we go.
You know? I never believed what just happened to me and how rude this rabbit was.
So she will have. I'll put in chat what she gets for this.
Incredible. I'm going to need wisdom saving throws from everybody but Trinity right now.
8 for Ren.
13 for Michael.
Is this a spell-like effect or a magical effect?
It is, correct.
Okay.
19 for Hatch. I'm very wisdomous.
21 for Demora.
Okay.
And 9 for Talisman. So
incredible. Who here got a 12 or lower? Talisman and Ren. She begins to sing this mournful, haunting song. The wind kicks up, and the dry reeds against the bankside of the lake begin to whistle in harmony with her song. Ren and Talisman, you are both under the charmed condition. This is one of the most beautiful fae women you've ever seen in your life, and her song also. This is not a kind of like there's like other fairy charms that are kind of like goofy. You're like, wow, this is more like you feel such deep sorrow and pity for this person. For Ren and Talisman, how do you both react? How do your friends see you react as this fairy song begins being sung?
I've never felt such emotion.
You guys see Talisman's gone. How about Ren? What's going on with Ren right now?
Ren takes off her Santa hat and just starts wiping her face with it. Cries a little bit.
Oh no.
What's wrong with them?
You guys see this woman begin singing, and suddenly, Trinity, you remember feeling like other beings were watching you, but you couldn't see them. Suddenly you realize why. Their bodies were not present, but become present now, as shaking up from the ice, 4 clawed, fanged, nasty looking critters, these sort of gremlin with like icicle noses and spiky backs and these short little icy snowy wings, all flitter up from the snow and fly around the woman in the center of the inlet, and they say, "Lady Rusalka, they've come here to mock your sorrow, they have. These ones, they wish to do you harm and take your treasure back. Do us a favor, keep singing your song." You see that one of them crows out at the rest of you. "You're not wanted, friends."
Ren cries harder.
You see that the woman looks up and icy tears stream down her face as well, and she says, "Leave now, or I will make you." What do you guys do? Trinity.
So Trinity looks at the lady and she just sits for a minute, and then she decides to walk a little bit closer to the woman, and she just.
Oh, you hit the mute there in the middle. Sorry.
Oh, I don't think my audio is coming in right, but I'll
We can hear you. It's just a little staticky.
Yeah. Okay. So she walked up to the lady, and she just said no to her, not even looking scared. Just no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need everybody here to roll initiative.
I was about to say, I think we're initiative because it's Hatch is done talking. So
incredible. Michael.
Wait. I was just about to say Michael's gonna slip to the side and quietly cast friends on her, but I guess
that's gonna have to wait till initiative order. That's gonna be till initiative order.
Yep. We're the opposite of friends now.
Okay. Did anybody here get above a 20?
No.
Did anybody here get? Oh yeah.
Trinity might, because she's super fast. So let's.
Gotcha.
Wait, what do I have to roll?
So you're gonna roll the 20 like always, but then you're gonna add 8 to it because you're very fast.
I rolled a 16, but now adding the 8, I got 24.
Incredible. No one else got above a 20, I believe. Did anybody else get?
I did, but I'm charmed. So yeah, I got like a 25.
Ooh, awesome. 25, great.
I actually clicked on the saving throw one instead. Do I count that one, or should I re-roll?
Reroll.
I got a 12 plus 5, so 17.
17 for Michael. What did Barnaby get?
15.
What did Ren get?
I got a 1, which tracks.
Oh no!
True. It's the tears are crystallizing in your eyes.
I'm just busy crying.
Yeah.
What did Hatch get?
16.
16. And what did Demora get?
11.
11. Incredible. Talisman, you are first to act. Under the charm condition, a charm creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. And you're also just feeling very overwhelmed in this moment, but you are first to act. Oh, I think you're muted.
I'm going to use Agile Parry and just be like, this is so beautiful, but I feel like something wrong is happening here.
Excellent. And what does Agile Parry do?
Oh, no. Okay. So I'm just going to ready then if I can, because I have to make an unarmed strike to use that. So never mind.
Cool.
But I know something wrong is happening. That's what is important. I just can't do anything about it.
Gotcha. If you want to take the dodge action and just like ready yourself to avoid something bad happening, cool.
I'll do that then. Yeah.
So you're ready. You have the dodge action going. Trinity, that's going to be you.
I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Incredible. Who are you going to cast Hunter's Mark on?
Wait, so we're fighting the fairy lady, right?
She is the one at the center of this inlet. She is surrounded by 4 of what you would recognize to be ice mephits. These sort of like nasty little ice fairies. But you see that she has asked you to leave. You guys have said no. And it looks like it is now coming to blows.
So I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the fairy lady.
Awesome. Great. You cast Hunter's Mark on the fairy lady. Is there, and then that's, Hunter's Mark I think is just a bonus action, right? So yep. You can also take another action this round if you want to.
I'm going to hit her with my swords.
Go for it.
This is a Gloom Stalker first round, so you get 3 attacks. So we've rolled 3 different times. No. Now's when you shine.
I rolled a 17. Wait, is there anything I add to what I roll?
Yes. Let me look at your Trinity sheet. For you, 7. When you attack, you're gonna add 6 to that.
Ooh.
So 23.
23.
23 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll 2 more attacks.
Okay. This time 17.
17 is actually still going to be a hit.
Okay.
Give us that last one.
This time I rolled a 15.
This time you rolled a 15. 15 actually does still hit. That's exactly her armor class. You hit all 3 times.
I'll help you. I'll help you figure out the damage, Kaylin, because it's a lot. Because this is what Gloom Stalkers do.
This is
okay.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. This is going to be like 6d6 plus 1d8 plus 12, right?
Yeah, 66 plus 1d8 plus 12. Yeah, yeah. I'll help her figure that
Just
out. While we yeah, that's all. Again, Gloom Stalkers shine in the first round, mate.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a Gloom Stalker family affair. Marcide and Trinity, we love it.
It's again, he grew up listening to the stories of Trinity the Strong. That's why. Yeah, I'll help her figure out the damage while we move on here.
Great. So, Kaylin, I'm going to let you roll damage, and we'll come back to you and figure out how much damage you did. For right now, these creatures are going to go, and we're going to have them jump up. Oh yeah, this is going to be big. Okay. So I am going to need 2 dexterity saving throws. Yeah, I'm going to need 2 dexterity saving throws from everybody. I'm going to need 2 dexterity saving throws from everybody. And just let me know.
Is it a spell?
No, this is not a spell.
Well, not being the most dexterous of turtles, I got a 16 for 1 and then a big old 2. I feel like hop out of the way, like, yeah, I'm at.
I got a 4 and a 17. So.
Hey, all right. Incredible. What did Talisman get?
With dodge, do I get advantage or?
No, they would have disadvantage trying to hit you.
Barnaby got an 18 and a 12.
Cool.
Talisman got a 16 and a 9.
Incredible. And then what did Demora and Ren get?
16 and 19 for Ren.
Awesome.
11 and 15 for me.
Awesome. That's going to be in the first attack. You guys see 2 of the methods fly over. I'll get him! These enemies of Lady Rusalka! Rush over and open their mouths and breathe ice all over you. In that first breath attack, Hatch takes 6 points of cold damage. Everybody else takes 3. In the next one, Michael takes 5 cold damage. Everybody else takes 2. And that's going to be and I also am going to need those. I know that Kaylin's in the middle of rolling a big bunch of damage.
We got the numbers here. Let's total it up. 8, 12, 13, 15, 17, 18, 24.
24 damage? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Kaylin, go ahead and give me 2 dexterity saving throws, if you'd be so kind.
Okay, dexterity. Oh, I rolled a straight 10, 20 plus 4, 24.
Incredible. You just rolled a nat 20. You're good. We're gonna say that Trinity's good. So the rest of you who have all come up here and are like squaring off, as frost breath. Trinity, you walk up, say no straight to the Lady Rusalka. She whips up some magic. These fairies go. You slide under the frost breath unharmed, whip up, and in a wild flurry of sword play, deal 24 points of damage to the Lady Rusalka. She is injured. She looks like a powerful fairy, but she is definitely injured. Incredible turn from she clutches an arm with an elven sword slash on it and takes a step to get away from you as quick as possible. That is now going to be Michael. That is your turn.
Am I still invisible? Or has it worked?
Yes. Yes, you are.
I don't know if this counts for my turn, but can I see what she's holding? Like you said at the beginning, she was holding something.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, let's see. That is a 22.
22 perception. The dull gray lavender stone in her hand is in the perfect shape of a heart. It looks that it has frosted over, but that she is holding a heart in her hands.
Okay. Does Michael get any advantage from being invisible?
Depends on what you're trying to do.
Okay. What am I trying to do? Let's see. So okay. Can Michael try to knock it out of her hands? Like not him with his magic. Like maybe with magic missile.
For sure. What kind of spell would you want to use? A magic missile might damage the artifact in here, but do you have, if I'm looking at Michael's spells, for example, I believe Michael does have some spells that would be useful in trying to yoink this heart out of this hand. Let me see here. Although, actually, you know what? You could give Magic Missile a try, but you might also have to just run up and grab it with your hands yourself.
Could I? Yeah, I'm deciding between two things.
I would say because you are invisible, you would have advantage.
Okay, I'll just try and grab it.
Okay. This is going to be a very important roll as you go and attempt to grab this. This is a DC 15. You have a +0 to sleight of hand. You are going to roll twice, and we need the higher of these two rolls to be a 15 or greater.
I believe in you, Michael.
What's the first one?
16 and 19.
Hey, incredible!
So 19.
Michael, incredible. You run up invisible and with a springy bounce, get a webbed hand on that stone and just jump straight 10 feet in the air, back to the bank, grab this thing out of there. You guys, for all that beautiful song you were hearing, that is pierced by a deep shriek. As the Lady Rusalka watches this heart go, the charmed condition ends on Ren and Talisman. As the heart disappears, I am going to need a final dexterity saving throw from Michael.
This is gonna go great. That is a 9.
Michael, I'm so sorry. Michael, you take 17 points of damage as you triumphantly leap, grab the heart, and the heart in your hand bursts into flame as the Heart of Hearts once more is able to do what it is enchanted to do. So here's the question. If you drop it, it'll possibly elude. Well, first of all, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you can maintain concentration on invisibility.
16?
Yes, you do. Do you stay holding on to this or do you drop it?
Are we on a big frozen lake?
You are on a big frozen lake. That is true.
So that's not gonna... Okay, can Michael throw it into the village?
For sure. Go ahead and just give me an acrobatics roll.
Oh, wow. That's not going to go well. Okay. 12.
12. That's such a...
Or just throw it away, I guess.
Just throw it away. No, well, I see. I think you're going to throw it to the village. I'm going to make a roll just for luck's sake over here, because I think 12 definitely gets it to the village.
Where?
But where in the village exactly?
Could I advocate on my young wizard's behalf?
Yes, please do.
We already know people were coming to bring us food. You know, maybe they're halfway here when she eats it.
You, in fact, yes, with a very merry invisible yeeting, this heart, a streaking comet, a heart of fire goes through the air, and you hear from on the other side of the boulder in this little ridge, you hear, "All right, everybody, remember, we want these heroes to yo!"
Even Christmas yeeting, yeah.
Incredible, amazing. That is going to be Michael. You did it. You successfully got the Heart of Hearts out of there. However, now it is Hatch's turn. Hatch, that is you.
You know, I felt really bad for this lady when she was singing sad songs, but now she's just doing like angry screaming noises. So, spirit guardians. And I basically summon a small army of the most aggressive and effective defenders I can possibly imagine. So an army of sparkly seagulls swirls around me. I'm gonna eliminate all of my friends here, but keep the Fey lady and the Mephits all in it. So they need to give me a. Sorry, I just had this up here. Wisdom 15.
Both methods fail, but the lady succeeds.
Then the Mephits take 18 points of damage, and she takes 9, and all of their speeds are halved.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Mine.
Yeah, I think our beach turtle here summons up a group of seagulls. All of them, some of them like wearing shades, some of them like, hey, it's beach time, baby. Very real vacation vibes from these spirit guardian seagulls.
A lot of flowery shirts on the seagulls, you know? Yeah, right.
Puka shell necklace, exactly. Incredible. So you see, incredible. Hatch summons these spirit guardians. The two Mephits either side, you're looking badly injured. Barnaby, that's going to be you.
All right, so Barnaby is going to. Can I tell that Talisman and I think Ren are back to their normal wits?
I think so. Yes, I think you see that once the song is broken, it really they snap out of it.
All right, so how many Mephits are all of them still up?
All of them are still up, but the two on you, the large group of people, is definitely very
okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to step forward, and you just see Barnaby kind of raises a rod, and he's like, "I don't want to have to do this," but he it's like almost like he's like begrudgingly Eldritch blasting. So you just see the pinkish purple energy streak out against one of them, and that is going to be a nice 27.
27, that hits. 27 hits,
and that is going to do big money. 22 damage.
Wow, incredible. And you're doing that to
one of the injured Mephits.
Cool. And I believe you have multiple that's not one ray.
That's just one ray. Yeah.
Incredible.
Sorry, the 27 was a critical hit, by the way. Sorry. Sorry.
No, that's amazing. Yes. No, I was like, whoo, doctor. You obliterate the first Mephit. However, in its death throes, I am gonna need dex saves just from Demora, Michael, and Barnaby.
Oops. It's not my fault.
Dexterity, right?
Yeah.
That's a 13.
13. And let me know what Demora and Michael.
That is a 12.
Oh, it's a 19. Thank God.
Okay. Each of you only take 3 points of ice damage. As that method. Michael's down. Oh no.
It's 3 HP.
Oh no, Michael down. So Barnaby, you go get that first one, no problem. But in its last little spiteful death throes, it blows up into these shards of ice. Michael goes down. Ooh, scary.
All right, how close is the other injured one to Michael?
Not
because
close.
I have another beam.
No, so I split you guys in half. The other one is on the side facing Ren, Hatch, and Talisman.
So if I took it out, I believe after seeing the blast radius of that last one that it's not going to hit Michael.
Correct.
Maybe if my calculations.
If your calculations are correct. Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to attack the other one then, and that's only a 16.
16 still hits.
Okay, and that was 15 points damage.
obliterated as well. Barnaby rids your party of these two here, but I am going to need those dex saves from Hatch, Talisman, and Ren.
It's not my fault. I mean, like,
to Michael, why would you do that to me?
I mean, like we want these things dead, right?
It's a 19, but I feel like Hatch doesn't move at all. He just like whoop into the shell, ding, 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 ding. And then he's like back out.
100%. And what did Ren get?
9.
9. Oh no! And what did Talisman get?
21.
21. Okay. Ren, you take 6 points of ice damage, and Hatch and Talisman each take 3.
So Barnaby, to end his turn with my movement, I'm just going to move over. Michael, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm just like going to kind of crouch down beside Michael.
Awesome. You crouch down there. Demora, you are next to act.
Which one of the fairy ladies, like, bodyguard things are the weakest right now?
The 2 that are up near Trinity are uninjured. So the 2 injured ones Barnaby just took care of, and now you've got so Trinity is like about, I would say 15 feet in front of you, and is totally surrounded by these 2 ice mephits and the Lady Rusalka in front of her.
I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on the one behind her.
On the little ice mephit, the nasty little gremlin one. Cool. You cast Hunter's Mark. Awesome. Hell yeah. And that's your bonus action. And you have a full action as well. Oh, I think you're muted.
You are muted, ma'am.
So I'm just gonna attack with my greatsword on that one.
Heck yeah. Go ahead and take your first swing.
Are these fiends? You said they're methods.
They are. These are fae.
Okay, right.
Or I guess actually, technically, these are elementals.
Just warming up that smite. That's all. I'm all like,
exactly.
I'm all like, which class of beings are these? Yeah.
I hit with 19 and
awesome.
13 damage.
13 damage. Incredible.
Are you going to smite or no?
I'll smite.
Heck yeah. And by the way, so you're adding that extra D6 for Hunter's Mark too, right?
Yeah. So you're 3d6 on the first damage. And then if you smite, it's another 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
If you so choose. But you should probably choose.
Awesome. So yeah, and Lexi, let us know when you roll that 2d8 for that extra smite damage.
She has a second attack as well.
Cool.
That's a 21.
21? Well, Demora, you discovered that these methods have exactly 21 hit points. Demora, Trinity, you guys are at this point, Demora and Trinity have trained in dual swords play together. Trinity with her wickedly fast double blades, Demora with her incredible critical strokes with this enormous greatsword. As Trinity flourishes underneath you, Demora sails across the ice, and I think even through your boots, Demora, that sort of underworld fire burns, and you skid, melting a couple layers of the top of the lake as you boom, behead this first method in a blast of fire. I'm going to need dexterity saving throws right away from Trinity and Demora.
Okay.
17.
And what did you get, Kaylin?
18.
Cool. Each of you only take 2 points of damage as that one explodes. And Demora, you have another attack.
I'll just take a regular attack with my greatsword.
Awesome. Great. And as you go up to and then you're attacking the second, this is the last method, right? Cool, awesome. Let me know what you roll.
18 with 13 damage.
18. Okay, you 18 with 13 damage. And do you want to smite here as well?
No, that'll just be regular attack.
Cool. Boom! Hit this last method. Snarls. You watch it. And after you, it is now going to be the Lady Rusalka. She looks mad. First one is going to come for Trinity, an armor class of 16. That is a miss. That's a hit. And that's a hit as well. She is going to, she lashes out at Trinity, who's been attacking her, and first deals Trinity 10 points of damage with the first attack. Ooh, and then 14 points of damage with the attack after that. So for 24 points of damage in total. How's Trinity looking?
Now she had. Wait, let me add all this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Could I pose a question while she's calculating this?
Please do so.
My spirit guardians go off at the start of her turn, not mine. So she's gonna give me a save.
Ooh, lovely.
She's gonna give me wisdom 15.
She fails that saving throw.
So she's gonna take 20 as my combat seagulls.
Oh my goodness, 20 damage. She's looking hurt. The seagull, she's, I hate these birds not from this biome.
They're
wrong.
They're rats with wings.
And I see from Kaylin. Kaylin has 13 hit points left. You guys see blows raining down as the Rusalka just whips up ice from the lake. This is an amount of damage that truly would fell most warriors. And Trinity miraculously manages to stay on her feet just through skill at arms, but looks badly injured by these attacks from the Lady Rusalka. That is going to go and be Ren's turn.
I'm going to run over to where Michael and Barnaby are and cast Cure Wounds on Michael at 2nd level.
Oh, sorry. Oh, good. Somebody that knows what they're doing. Help him.
Just only 5 points though, but
Mm-hmm.
better than that.
When I change my HP, it gives me the death saves. How do I get rid of that to put it back at 5?
You just need to go back up like heal 5. Can you see how to do that?
Type
No,
Type
it
5.
covered my whole HP thing, and I can't do anything. It just tells me death saves.
Worst case, click 3 successes, and that should get you out of it too.
Oh, healing. If I click on it, healing.
Yeah, if you click on it, yeah, there you go.
5 points.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Incredible. Well, gang, you all see Michael come back from the brink as Ren rushes to his side, and we go back to the top of the order with Talisman.
Well, she doesn't seem that nice anymore. So I am definitely in range, right?
Yes, you are.
Awesome. Okay. So I am going to rush up and unarmed strike, and I want to make that a stunning strike as well. The Constitution saving throw for that is DC 16.
She's going to roll that right now. She needs a 12 or higher. That is, she succeeds on a 14. She succeeds. So she avoids the first stun, but you have more attacks left.
Gotcha. Okay. I am also going to attack with my sword. Let's see if this hits. 26, I'm guessing.
26 does in fact hit, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, yeah. I'm gonna roll damage for that.
Because if it doesn't, we're leaving.
15.
15 damage, incredible.
15.
You run up, slash, incredible. And I believe you have a second attack, right?
Does that unarmed strike count as one of those attacks?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I would also like to flurry of blows too, if I can.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Monk's gonna monk.
Monk's gonna monk. Let's do it. Okay. And can I also? Can I also make that first attack on the flurry of blows a
stunning strike as well? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Let's see if it hits first. Oh no, I got a 10. That does not hit.
Oh no. Copy that.
But you got one more, right?
Yeah, I do. I have one more. That second one got a 23. I'm gonna roll damage for that. And 10 damage.
Oh man, she is looking, right towards the end of things. I'm gonna roll for stun. That is a natural 4 on the die. Boom, she's stunned. As she's stunned, I would like Trinity, Demora, and Talisman, the 3 people in melee combat with the Lady Rusalka. I would like each of you to make a perception check for me. This is going to be a high perception. It's going to be DC 20.
Yes. Okay, I got a 23. So
23. Incredible. Okay, great. Let me know if anyone else got above a 20.
I got 22.
22. Amazing.
I got 19.
Thank you. Oh, so you know what? We'll count on 19. You all see it. It's the holiday season. What can I say? Warriors gathered around. You see Talisman size. So this amazing sword with fighting methods exploding around. You see as you stun the Lady Rusalka, she begins to fall back towards the ice. Her winter cloak around her flies off her, sort of farther off her shoulders. And you see along the hem, the sort of collar line of her gown, you see a hint of a scar on her sort of like frosty, like sort of snowflake patterned skin over where her heart should be as she begins to fall back towards the ice.
Whoops.
this was a mistake.
She begins to fall back towards the ice. Talisman, that is your turn. Next in the initiative order is Trinity.
So, what am I supposed to do?
You can do whatever it is you would like to do.
So,
It looks
turns
like.
out,
Oh no, go ahead. What were we gonna say?
wait, is she a good guy or a bad guy?
Maybe she's not all bad. That's what we're starting to figure out. Maybe.
She seemed pretty mean. She was casting spells on you guys as you were coming here. But as she begins to fall, the 3 warriors, you, Demora, and Talisman, all see a hint of a scar suddenly. And though you couldn't speak the language she was singing in, she was holding on to this heart here. And I'll actually go ahead and say all 3 of you suddenly recognized the heart caught back on fire when Michael took it, which means that something about her holding it was keeping it from being on fire. But Trinity, it is your turn, so you may do whatever you'd like.
And there are 2 total methods besides her that are still up?
Or there's just one method left. So there's only
Okay.
one method left.
I don't know if I want to hit them because what if they're not bad, but I don't want to heal whole because what if they are bad?
A terrible moral dilemma.
The method is definitely bad. We know for sure it's bad.
Okay, I'll hit the method then. I'll attack it with my swords.
Incredible. Go ahead and roll your attacks.
Yeah, you have 3 attacks.
Okay.
Well, 2 technically if you're going to move the hunter's mark. So 2 attacks, but add the extra damage to it.
I don't think I'll use the hunter's mark.
Okay, then 3 attacks.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Well, the good news is if you have her marked and she tries to run away, you can find her. So it's still good.
So in total, I rolled a 20 on the first one, and on the second one, I rolled. One sec. 24, and then on the last one.
Incredible.
I got a straight 20 and adding the 6, 26.
Oh my goodness!
It's like wrecks this poor method.
This poor method. Demora already had hurt this method. This method is toast, baby. So Trinity, that is going to be what? That's going to be 4d6 plus 12 damage.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yep. So roll your 4d6. The cubes. Roll 4 of them.
4 of the what cubes?
The d6s look like little cubes. Roll 4 of those.
Okay.
And add 12. As you take this thing's lunch money.
Wait, these?
That's the one. 4
Okay.
of those. Or roll 1 4 times, whatever's easier.
So one of them was 4, and then 5, then 2, and that's not these, another 5.
All right, so 10, 16, 18. Oh, no, sorry. You said plus 12? 10, 16, 28 total.
28. This nasty little method looks up and says, she discovered a scar on the Lady Rusalka's heart, huh? Yeah, she's all right to us while she's all sad like that. Trinity, what do you do to this little horrible ice method creature?
So before I went up and hit it, I stare at it, giving it a look like you're so annoying, you're gonna dissolve this. And then I go up and use my sword on him.
You just give him the deadest glare, and you see in his last moment, he's like, oh no, and shatters into ice. Rolls a 1 on damage. So a very pitiful display from this last method. Demora, Trinity, and Talisman only take 1 point of cold damage each, and you see, but now you see that you have a whole round where the Lady Rusalka is stunned. So I'm going to say, with all of you here and the Lady Rusalka stunned for a round, we're actually going to come out of initiative here, because you guys could probably either restrain or otherwise, protect yourself. And she does look very badly injured. Yes, Ren.
Did you say which language she was singing in?
She was singing in Sylvan.
I speak Sylvan as a druid. Would I have been able to hear some of the words?
Incredible. Yes. You actually see that as she is stunned on the ground, she's kind of mumbling the song to herself, and is singing a very sad song in Sylvan. The song basically goes, when you lost your heart, I sought to give you mine. And when you could not take it, I could not take it back. And And you, in this moment of heartbreaking, you realize that this fey creature is changed, that this is like not her true form, you think. And you see that, right in this tender moment of hearing this mournful fairy song, you hear, "My God, there she is! Quick, strike up the band!" And you see the gnomish marching band has come out onto the ice and begins to skid across the ice. And they're like, "Oh, ha, look!" He says, "We found the heart! You did it!" And you see the mayor says, "Oh, and you found that terrible trickster fairy. Well, only one thing left to do. She's a menace to the town and you should be dispatched with post haste."
No, absolutely not. I'm putting my hoof down. Nobody is going to harm this creature.
Listen, I ran for mayor on a platform of more gingerbread and harsh criminal justice. This is what I'm here to do. No?
I look at Talisman and I'm like, "Talisman, could you move her a little further away from me?" And then I turn and look at them, and because my spirit guardians is still active,
Yeah.
so the birds start swirling more, and I'm like, "If you want her, you gotta go through us."
You see the mayor says, "As in all things, I base my decision-making on my commitment to the principle of cowardice. I surrender. You are now mayor." And he throws his hat to Hatch. Michael.
I was just curious because you said it's not her true form. Could I do magic detect or to get, and I forgot what the spell was called, to get rid of the magic if I do detect any?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely, you could do that.
Wait, isn't Michael dead right now?
Michael
Ren
was
restored
he
a
just
whole
knocked
5.
out?
She restored a whole 5 HP points.
Mhm. Currently
Michael,
still with us.
Michael was healed. So Michael, go ahead and give me a history check if you would be so kind.
Okay. That's a 9.
A 9. So you guys did magic, so you're not quite sure what's going on with the magic here, but there's definitely magic on. There's definitely some magic on her, but you get a feeling that you would need something special to be able to dispel this magic here. You think you could do it with the dispel magic spell, but you're almost worried that if you cast dispel magic on her now, she might just like vanish or disappear, like because she's sort of made of magic. She's like a fairy.
All right. Okay.
No worries.
I think we're hey, former mayor. I think we're going to need that heart thing back, and you guys are going to have to learn how to make a normal fire to run your town.
Yeah, that might have been
need
my
a magic
fault.
fire.
You see this says a normal fire, but how does that even work? What, we get matches like plebeians? No.
Yes, that is what that means.
Kind of how it works.
Oh, well, what was the point of doing that spell anyway if you were just going to come here and tell us that we needed to do normal fire? So at this point, the Lady Rusalka is beginning to come out of the stunned condition. And the last time she was conscious, she was fighting you guys. Yes, Michael.
The second she starts to wake up, can I cast Friends on her?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage as she wakes up.
Okay.
So I
19.
have a couple of questions. Did you get that burning heart from this sad lady?
Well, sorry. Yes, Michael.
I got a 19.
19. She begins to wake up looking very badly injured. She looks up and goes, "Oh, you and your friends are very competent warriors. Oh, oh, my back. And you see, she looks up at you as you start to comfort her, and looks like she is not going to jump back into violence for probably a lot of good reasons. Ill-advised. You see, the mayor looks over and says, sorry, what was the question? Did we do what now?
I'm not exactly sure what the question was, but we're gonna need that heart thing.
You see that, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just say, Talisman, would you thump that guy?
He goes, wait a minute, no! You see that he looks around and says, there's no need to thump me. Listen, whatever she said was a lie, all right? I don't know what she told you about she was in love with the Prince of Summer and he ran off and she gave her heart and I was going to take the heart, but then I found it and then she got really sad and then she came back and I said, hey, I could use this to make a magic furnace and get elected mayor. That's not what happened, all right? What happened instead was something that makes me look great.
Wow. We didn't know any of that, so thanks.
What a typical politician.
What? There's nothing typical about me, my friend. You see, he taps his now bald head.
Like, normally, we don't get that level of exposition until Barnaby's like hanging over a vat or something, being slowly lowered down.
Incredible. You see that, by the way, Michael, you're holding all those maps and stuff that you took, and now you're reunited with Ren since the last time you saw that.
Can Michael just kind of, he's not gonna like throw it at her so they see, but I'll sneakily hand it to her.
Yeah, you surreptitiously slide it over to that. Ren, go ahead and give me a nature check with advantage.
And 15.
Awesome. What was the first one?
16.
16. You look down at these. A ritual was cast here using these maps of the surrounding kingdoms. And the ritual bent all of the roads. You see all of the maps have had silver ink drawn to redraw all the roads to come to Holly Hill.
Tell Hatch, see, I knew where I was going, and I show him the map.
I'm trying to look menacing right now, Ren, but yes, you're correct.
Amazing. So you see the other gnomes are all gathered out here on the lake right now, and they look out and see. So Ren, you have this proof that this, the road changing thing happened here, and the mayor looks and says, all right, everyone, all the citizens of Holly Hill, remain calm. I have the news, all right? Listen, the important thing here is this. These adventurers, having performed their responsibility, they've returned the Heart of Hearths to Holly Hill. So thank you for your time. We'll get some express mailed hot cocoa to you.
I have got a new message for all of you gnomes here in Holly Hill. And I'm going to use prestidigitation, minor illusion to like boom my voice as much as I can. Mm-hmm. Your mayor is a crook. He's a complete and total crook who has completely messed over this lovely lady back here. She's going to be more lovely when she gets a heart thing back. But listen, I am telling all of yous, if you don't make him give us that little trinket that he's got over there burning in his hand, we are going, you see these people right here, especially that one, and he points to Demora. Mm-hmm. She is an eating contest champion in at least 5 different places. And she is going to go to your town, and you're not going to have anywhere to sleep tonight because it's coming down. I'm talking about it's going to be in her stomach.
Michael.
As he's talking about Demora, Michael casts minor illusion as well to put like scary particles around her and like animated looking food things to prove that she's like hungry.
I thaumaturgy the dark whispers in the crowd to be like, oh, Demora, everybody knows what she's capable of. Oh no.
Give me another intimidate with advantage, Barnaby.
I love all the help that Barnaby always gets on trying to be scary.
It's obviously.
Oh my gosh, 20 on the die, 20 on
20
the die.
on the
I don't even
die.
have to. 25 total. That is 2 intimidate 20s for me today.
You're very frightening.
That's kind of mean to say.
You see the heart tumbles out of his hand as he looks around, and you see that another little gnome steps up and says, well, the Herald of the Dusk Queen is right. And as this town's treasurer and clerk, comptroller, and ice cream shop entrepreneur, I would like to say that we call for an immediate mayoral election. All in favor of an immediate election? All the gnomes shoot their hands up and says, very well. All in favor of deposing the current mayor? And you see that the chants go up, and you see Mayor Ball goes, oh no, I'm ruined. And you see that the treasurer who's speaking up and says, all right, as is custom in the town of Holly Hill, on the count of 3, everyone point to the person you want to be mayor. 1, 2, 3. And a bunch of fingers just go in a bunch of wild directions. And you see they look around, and there's a moment of hushed whispering, and someone goes like, oh, looks like Cupcake's the new mayor. And just a random gnome goes, well, I'll be. And you see that Mayor Bauble says, well, I think you can depose me that easily, hey? You haven't seen the last of a Bauble Bilkins Buttercup. And you see that he taps his bald head, and a little sort of like derby cap that just says crook in big block letters on the front appears in front of it. And he goes, ha 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 ha, and disappears in a puff of smoke.
I should have bonked him.
Democracy was the real hero today.
The institutions held.
Too real. You see that the Lady Rusalka turns to look at all of you. And you guys do see that there's just this burning heart that is starting to like melt through the ice into the lake. I don't know.
Get it, talisman, like get it or something. Like
it's on fire.
Yeah. Oh, I could do this. And then Barnaby's going to mage hand it. And
Flaming
lift
heart
it up. And then he's going to just kind of flicker it over, and it's like, listen now, I'm going to give this back to you, but I don't want you to do something like really, really mean with it, like attack us again. Are you going to be on your best behavior?
I cannot say. There is something wrong. If it was, you see that she sort of shrugs and says, if it were possible, I would have done it long ago. I was able to steal the heart successfully, but it cannot be returned. And you see that she reaches out a hand, and as soon as her hand touches the heart, all the flame dies in it. It goes cold.
Did I hear that she needs a frog prince to offer it to her? Was that what the song said?
What? In my song, there is no speak of frogs. This lake has been frozen over for eternity. If there are frogs, they are frozen at the bottom of lake in perpetuity.
So like maybe we need to cut you open again and put the heart back inside.
I am not averse to such things, although I do wonder if you have training and expertise to be able to do this.
Oh no, not me.
Oh no, I'm a healer by trade and a very sharp claws.
You see that she looks up and says, I don't know. I think the truth is that a heart does not catch on fire for itself or its own sake. If you have nothing for which your heart can burn, then why have it light at all, you know?
Have you met my buddy Talisman? Really, really available bachelor. I mean, look at that kid.
The excellent bone structure.
Michael casts minor illusion and makes him like blush.
And the whispers, oh my God, Talisman, look at him.
You know what?
Have you seen the tinsel?
This is not where I thought this was going to go. Talisman, go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage if you'd be so kind.
Michael goes, ooh, ah.
Yeah. Let me tell you the stories. Had to beat the girls off of him with my club when we'd pass through the villages.
19.
19. You see, she's holding this frosted heart, and she looks up and says, well, hello, I am Lady Rusalka. Gosh, I feel kind of bashful, like the whole town is kind of watching, maybe,
Hey, all yous go away. Go back to the town. Give them some privacy.
You see the new mayor, Mayor Cupcake says, all right, band, make sure, let's strike up just a happy, normal, subtle flirting song.
Have a nice voice.
Yes, you see, she smiles at you saying you have a nice voice. And you see that the heart doesn't burst into uproarious flame, but you can see that the frost begins to recede and some color return to her fingertips. And she says, well, I don't want to rush anything, and I am glad to have my heart back, but maybe I could travel with you for some time and get to know you. And here her eyes look at all of you, but a light at the end on Talisman.
I like that.
Right. And I want to be clear, I don't want to put pressure on you because, like, you know, dating is very hard, and it's like you think like, oh, I have to make this work out, or her heart is going to be like a rock, and that's like not a good place to be like entering into relationship from.
It is a little manipulative, yeah.
Right, like I don't want to be responsible, you know, I don't want you to feel, you know, responsible.
It's okay. Love takes time.
Wow. And you see that? You say love takes time. You see the heart does brighten a little bit. And she's like, well, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Hatch.
Could I just try one thing to help? Because I've known this guy a long time, and I got to keep an eye on him, make sure everything's okay. And I put my hands on her in the heart in lesser restoration.
You see the heart returns into her chest. And though she stays very snowy, you see that her sort of pure snowy gown transforms into sort of the collar coming down around the hem of the gown transforms into fur and holly, and some color returns to her face and hands, and she smiles and says, you are very wise. And she touches your cheek, Hatch, and says, you have restored me in this way. And wait a minute. Did you say his name was Talisman?
Oh, the Talisman. He's a hero.
Oh my God, you're champion of Dawn Queen. Wow, I have like, okay, this is crazy. I've like heard about you. This is wild. Well, what's up? You want to get some hot cocoa, or what's the deal?
It's good. I like hot cocoa.
You see, Cupcake goes, all right, let's get into town and figure out how to turn trees into wood, and then how to turn wood into fires. And you guys begin to walk back to the festive little town of Holly Hill. Michael.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore, but I was gonna say they were gonna like walk away and let them do it, like talk more, and then Michael was gonna touch all of them and make them invisible so they could sneak back and watch, but I guess that's fine too.
Incredible. Michael definitely hatches that plan. That evening, a beautiful fire is made, and a fragrant, wonderful wood fire is made. I want to go around and have everyone just tell me what you do in the workshop that evening at this festival as you guys stay in Holly Hill, and what piece of construction are you eating that night? We'll start with Ren.
I was going to say, Ren casts Produce Flame, and she says, the first one's a freebie. Here you guys go, just to light the bonfire for them. And then the rest of the night, she just kind of nibbles on gingerbread.
Sorry, but when she produces flame, I immediately thaumaturgy to make it dim to almost nothing. I'm like, Ren, what's wrong with the fire? It's not
such an aggravator.
You see that Cupcake, as you cast that produce flame, Ren, you do see that Cupcake, the new mayor, says, all right, everybody, so we have fire. New rule, never let the fire go out. I don't know how to do what she just did. So easiest thing to do is just keep it burning forever. And what else is everyone doing? And what is your, yes, Trinity?
So, Trinity's like drinking hot cocoa on the file. But then she says, I'll be right back. And she sneaks out of the area where everyone is. And she goes and looks at all the gingerbread houses. But then she goes back for a bit and like grabs them all by the arm and drags her out to the gingerbread houses. And she says that one looks surprisingly empty and that she's kind of hungry.
Partway through the night, I think Hatch or somebody else like probably steps out and sees Mayor Bauble's house just gone, and just like gingerbread, frosting, peppermint. Trinity and Demora, you both, it's like the hugest sugar high and then the biggest sugar crash of all time. You've never eaten anything tastier than this house. There was some stuff like every once in a while it'd be like, oh, that's just like a regular nail and you have to get rid of that one thing, but it's 99.9% edible, and it's the best thing you've ever eaten. Incredible. I love that, Trinity. Who else? What else are people doing that night as we wrap up our tale?
No, go ahead, Michael. This one's the best anyway. Let's go.
Are Talisman and the Ice Girl together?
I think we will. Yes, I think you see that Lady Rusalka and Talisman are speaking by the now roaring fire, and it looks like the Lady Rusalka is the first time she's been warm in an age.
Dang it. Well, never mind, I guess.
Oh no, Michael's plans are foiled.
Michael was going to cast Disguise Self and look like Talisman and go talk to the Ice Girl, but guess it's...
Oh, he steps away at some point, right?
Talisman steps away at some point. Yeah, Talisman goes to get a drink or something like that. So Michael, disguised as Talisman, you walk up to the Lady Rusalka, and she looks up and says, Talisman, are you back so soon? You got your drink already?
And then Michael goes, hey, girl, and then leaks back.
Talisman, you are acting so truly bizarre. What happened in the 10 seconds from when you were last here?
It's sugar.
Hey, I'm back with my drink.
Do you see that she looks up, Lady Rusalka, and says, oh no, which one could be the real one? This one who looks confused at what's happening, or this truly strange one that was talking nonsense? Hard to tell.
Yes.
She laughs. She actually leans over Michael and even though you were disguised, gives you a kiss on the cheek and says, for future reference, Michael, I am fairy. I have true sight. Very nice illusion. Sits back down. Incredible. Barnaby.
And when we had Trinity and Demora coming out, finding the house and eating it down to its foundations, and they're crashing, they kind of like gaze out and look, and they see Barnaby in some of the melted areas of the lake where the heart kind of started melting it away. He is swimming in the lake, and he's just backpedaling and everything else. And then he finally, he like keeps looking over their direction to make sure that they're like paying attention to him. And he finally gets their gaze, and he's like, hey, what do they call a fawn that swims really fast on a lake?
Trinity is like, what do you call that?
It's a motor goat. A motor goat.
I hit Barnaby with Toll the Dead and spiritual weapon.
Worth it. Worth it.
Incredible.
Blue turtle shell from orbit.
Amazing. Well, do we have and Demora, Talisman? Do we have any other last things that people want to do? Yeah, Talisman.
Talisman, he usually does not eat or drink a lot, but he is putting down some hot cocoa. Cup after cup. Some of it has tinsel in it. It gets everywhere, but you know. He's enjoying himself.
Incredible. Talisman has come to life as Winter Wonderland. Just cocoa after cocoa. Lady Rusalka keeps up, tankard after tankard of hot cocoa with you, marshmallows and all. Incredible. And Demora, how's Demora feeling after you and Trinity finish the last gingerbread brick of Mayor Bauble's house?
Well, she's typically a savory person. Like, she prefers, like, food. So, having that much sugar, she's just overwhelmed. So, she's just kind of sitting there, like, that's all she did. Like, she has no reaction to anything. She just, that's all she did.
Fully, yeah. Trinity, I think Trinity and Demora, you just feel snow, like, lightly falling on you as you both are completely unable to move. Just, it's like the sweetest thing you've ever eaten, just in the wreckage of this house. You see that a couple of gnomes come over and say, "Thank you again for saving the village. We really do appreciate it. You don't have to move at all. We're just going to build the next house over you guys to make sure the snow doesn't get on you." And you see begin to build another gingerbread house around you. And merrymaking and laughter and music and the sweet smell of cookies and hot cocoa and a roaring fire, and having saved the town of Hollyhill in another grand adventure, we say goodbye once more to our friends in the Slumbering Forest. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching from all of us here at the Slumbering Forest. Make sure, please, to click that link and check out Direct Relief. If you enjoy the stream, please donate. There are so many people that could need a helping hand right here. And not everybody has Trinity, Demora, Hatch, Ren, Barnaby, Talisman, and Michael the Frog. So they are counting on you to help. So
and let's give it up for Brennan Mulligan. Thank you so much.
A pleasure and a joy.
As always.
All the love in the world from all of us to all of you watching. Happy holiday season, and we'll catch you all next time. Farewell. Woo!